right, let's break down UFC Fight Night Magomed Ankalaev versus Bogdan Guskov. I'm 85% correct in predicting fights in the last two cards. This is the perfect card to mess it all up. Card opens up Abdul Hussein versus Cody Gibson. Going with Hussein here. Gibson has struggled with grapplers recently and just struggled overall recently. And Abdul Hussein, really good grappler. I'm going to go Hussein by submission. Next, we got Narulo Aliev versus Mike Davis. I like the underdog Davis here. Aliev tends to be a control merchant, likes to work against the fence. He does get takedowns, but doesn't really advance the position into a situation that could lead to a finish. Davis has a significant advantage in the boxing if it stays on the feet, and I think if he could just stuff a couple takedowns, keep prolonged moments on the feet, I think he can get the win. Give me Davis by decision. Next, we got Britson Ribeiro versus Magomed Tuchilov. I am going to go with Magomed here. I mean, picking Ribeiro has got to be one of the scariest things you could do in MMA right now. So I'm going to go Tuchilov by knockout. Next, we got Ismail Bonfim versus Axel Sola. I'm going to go with Axel Sola. Bonfim has 1 round of gas, and if he doesn't get it done in the first round, he drops off heavily. Axel Sola coming off of an impressive war with Mason Jones where he had a ton of moments. I just think this fight's catered to Sola. Give me Sola by knockout. Next, we got Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Sam Patterson. I'm going Patterson here. 9 years younger, has a 5-inch reach advantage. Coming off of a weird fight against MVP, I feel like he's going to look to establish his offense more than obviously he could in that fight. Ponzinibbio, don't know how much he has left in the tank. So give me Patterson by knockout. Next, we got Dustin Jacoby versus Mohamed Saeed. I feel like this fight could be a weird one. I think Dustin Jacoby, 3-fight win streak, 3 finishes at 38 years old. I kind of like Saeed in this fight. Dustin Jacoby's last 3 wins have been through punches, right? With Saeed having a really good kicking game, I think he's going to operate well at distance. I don't really know who to go here, but I'm going to take a flyer on Mohamed Saeed here. And obviously, this is a stretch, and Dustin Jacoby could definitely win, and probably might. Like, Dustin Jacoby most likely will win. But I'm going to just kind of put it on record that I want to take a flyer on Saeed here. Give me Saeed by knockout. Next, we got Walter Walker versus Thomas Peterson. Walter Walker, he's a very niche fighter. Obviously, dives for leg locks and is a character. If I'm going to pick one person to trust, I'm going to trust Walker over Peterson. Give me Walker by submission, I guess. Next, we got Abu Bakar Vagaev versus Saigid Isakmaev. I'm going to go with Abu Bakar here because I picked Isakmaev in his last fight against Nicholas Dalby, and Isakmaev looked terrible. He looked like he had 0 gas tank, looked like he didn't want to be in there. He looked really bad. So I am going to learn from my mistakes. If he wins, congrats. But after what he did to me, I'm going to go with Abu Bakar by decision. Next, we got Rizvan Kuniev versus Tyrell Fortune. I'm going Kuniev here. Fortune had a good performance in his last fight. I was impressed. But Kuniev, I am a believer. He's had interesting fights because I feel like he's had weird opponents with Curtis Blades and Jalton Almeida, which are guys that obviously want to wrestle. There's a lot of clinch work. There's a lot of control time opportunities. But I don't think you're going to get that from Fortune, so I think you're going to get a more well-rounded performance by Kuniev, and I think he gets a finish. Give me Kuniev by knockout. Next, we got Damian Rezbecki versus John Pork Magomed Zenukov. I'm going John Pork here, obviously, but I don't want it to get confused that Rezbecki is very, very good, and he's undefeated champion in his organization. So I think that John Pork will have his hands full here, but ultimately I think just the hype And given the Contender Series performance, one of the best performances we've seen in the Contender Series, with unbelievable volume, I'm going to go with John Pork. Islam Dulatov versus Wellington Turman. I'm going to go with Dulatov because I didn't know Turman was still on the roster. This guy has not fought in almost 3 years, and Dulatov seems legit from the tape and from what we've seen in the very small sample size. Give me Dulatov by knockout. Next, we got Steve Erceg versus Ramazan Tamirov. This one has been the fight that I've been back and forth on. I'm probably going to go with Steve Erceg, and I don't feel great about it. It's just Tamirov is an explosive guy. He gets in the pocket and he throws looping shots. I think where Erceg can have the advantage is the volume and in the combinations, right? Where Tamirov is throwing one big strike, and granted, that one big strike can end it all. Don't get me wrong. I just think at that time, Erceg is throwing 2, 3, 4 shots back, and I think if this fight is going to take place on the feet, I think Erceg can just win off of volume, and if he can avoid some of the big power shots and a good scrambler in the grappling, Erceg is, I don't know. It's super close. I could see Tamirov getting a finish here, but I'm going to go with Erceg by decision. Next, we got the main event, Magomed Ankalaev, Bogdan Guskov. Not a whole lot of thought process here. I'm going to go with Magomed Ankalaev. Guskov, I think he has a puncher's chance, and it could be enticing because Ankalaev got rocked by Pereira in their last fight, but ultimately Ankalaev, a more well-rounded fighter, more apt to fight 5 rounds and to be in the main event. Guskov, a lot of power, also can hold his own in grappling exchanges, but ultimately to go from a draw with a 42-year-old Jan Blachowicz and then fighting former champ Magomed Ankalaev, I don't know. I just feel like might be a little too much too soon. So I am going to go with Ankalaev. I don't think we see 25 minutes here, so give me Ankalaev by knockout.